Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Happy Halloween, everyone. Yeah, I know I'm late. I have another good excuse. I'm late because I was preparing some stuff for you on what's happening. When I say shit just got real, shit just got real. And I don't mean that to be funny. I don't mean to be sarcastic. I know that people say it, but at any point, if that statement is true, it's true right now. That shit just got real, and it's getting real, and it's going to be even more real or realer tomorrow when people wake up and don't have benefits or any of that stuff. So yeah, let me know where you're. Hello, Seattle. Let me know where you're streaming from this morning or watching us. Thank you for being here. Yes, it is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. We have our Halloween Get Ready With Me show a little bit later, but I got to talk to you about serious stuff. So I will address the shirt later. It was a gift from a friend who is in fashion. So we'll talk about that later. But make sure, guys, you hit the thumbs up and hit the like. It's really, 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 really important that you pay attention to today's show, okay? I implore you to hit that thumbs up. Hello, Italy. Hello, Philly. Hello, New Jersey. All over the United States, folks are going to be dealing with a lot of stuff, okay? So let's get to it this morning. Thank you for being here, everyone. This is Hot Topics, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then I was preparing some stuff and have some extra stuff for you, and that's why I'm a little bit late today. So I want to talk to you about, you guys know who Mallory McMorrow is. If you don't, she is a Michigan state senator. And this happened a couple of days ago. But it is important to tell you about because it went viral. And today is more important than ever to hear her words and to hear from people who are in need and for people who need help. Okay, so this is going to be a learning experience. Make sure you lock in right now. Call your friends and neighbors and tell them to lock in right now. And then you need to figure out what you can do, what we all can do, okay? So as I mentioned, Mallory McMorrow, this Michigan State Senator, her speech in Michigan is going viral. Michelle Elder from Baton Rouge. Going viral. Wildflowers from Wellsville, New York. Going viral. Robert Jackson, 6829 from suburban Detroit. She is standing on the floor of the Michigan State Senate, not in Washington, on the floor of the Michigan State Senate. She is calling out the cruelty of politicians who are cutting off families from benefits that keep them alive. It doesn't appear to me that she has a script. Perhaps she does. Maybe she has some notes that she's looking down at. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like she has a teleprompter. Just a mother, a public servant, an American saying what too many in power refuse to admit, and that people are going hungry right now. And the government is choosing not to help. She said, "This is not who we are." And she's right. Watch.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to encourage a yes vote on this resolution because this is a serious resolution. And I want to read some language from the federal government website. Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP. OMB's General Counsel provided a letter to USDA on May 23, 2025, stating that there is a bona fide need to obligate benefits for October, the first month of the fiscal year, during or prior to the month of September, thereby guaranteeing that benefit funds are available for program operations, even in the event of a government shutdown at the beginning of the fiscal year. This language goes on to say, to fulfill this congressional intent, it is necessary that a limited number of FNS employees be accepted from furlough to support program operations. These activities include, but are not limited to, program policy and operations, financial management, and stakeholder communications. It also says these multi-year contingency funds are also available to fund participant benefits in the event that the lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. Make no mistake, there are years worth of funding available for the SNAP program, our tax dollars that we have already paid to the federal government to facilitate this program, and the Trump administration deleted this language from the website this morning. They are hiding the fact that not only is there more than enough funding to pay these benefits that we have already paid our tax dollars into, but that there was contingency language to ensure that even in the event of a government shutdown, that SNAP would go uninterrupted. The Trump administration and the Republicans supporting him are using food as a political weapon. This is a choice. They chose to delete this language. They are choosing to force children to go hungry. We will not stand for that choice, and I encourage a yes vote.
Thank you, State Senator. Now, she's right, and that's where we start today. 42 million Americans right now are on the brink of losing their SNAP benefits, the difference between feeding their families and going without. And while she's fighting to restore some humanity to public service, Donald Trump is out there bragging about tariffs and playing tough guy with people's lives. This right now is the reality in America.
Across the country, food banks working overtime as the federal shutdown stretches to a full month and the discontinuation of the nation's largest food assistance program looms.
I'm at $2.45 right now.
Food bank workers expect food insecurity to skyrocket.
It's been days that I haven't go to sleep because I'm thinking what's going to happen to all of us.
SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, serves nearly 42 million people every month. But if the shutdown continues, SNAP funding will stop on November 1st.
It's hard to say we need help, especially as mamas. You know, we're supposed to take care of our babies, and when we can't, we need help.
That means more Americans will need to rely on food pantries. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom deploying the National Guard to help stock food pantries. In Huntsville, Alabama, they're preparing like they would for a natural disaster.
Even though this is kind of man-made, we're still kind of operating as if it were an emergency.
According to Feeding America, for every one meal provided by a food bank, 9 are provided by SNAP. That means pantries could be met with a 10-fold increase in demand.
If the food pantries who are servicing them are empty, then where do they get food?
I'm concerned that the numbers are going to probably double every day. People are now asking for meals to go home to their kids after school, or for the elderly they can't get here, or the disabled.
I'm joined now by John Sillers.
ABC report. I don't really know how else to tell you, and I'm sure you're out there and you know what's going on. You see that in that report? That is not another country. That is America. We're the richest nation on earth. People lining up at dawn just to get a box of food because their benefits didn't come through. People standing in line, hurting, mothers, veterans, children, all ethnicities, all walks of life, many of them Trump supporters, maybe even most of them in the red rural areas, caught in the crossfire of politics and cruelty. The government is shut down. The safety net is unraveling. And, as I said, the man who is sitting in the Oval Office saying, in essence, let them starve. Who cares? Not even let them eat cake, for those of you who know the whole Marie Antoinette reference. He's not even saying that. He's just saying, who cares? Let them starve. This is the America that Donald Trump built on lies, telling you he's going to solve poverty and inflation and hunger and gas prices and high grocery bills and all that stuff. End all the wars, all of it lies. I don't know if the cult members if they are being deprogrammed right now, if they're disillusioned, but man, the America MAGA cheers for right now, one where struggle is entertainment. I guess it's entertaining to see people struggle. I guess maybe this is like a Celebrity Apprentice thing where, If you don't act right, then you have to go. You're fired and you have to starve. Go fend for yourselves. Empty is the heart of these folks. There's no empathy because their empathy, I guess, is seen as weakness. And you know, they're kind of, poverty is the punchline. So I want to tell you about a couple of people because this show is very personal and I want people, and if you have a story of something, please share it with us. This is Tiffany Hayner. She's in Tennessee. She spends nearly every dollar she earns on rent, electricity, her phone, and car insurance. There's nothing left for food, she says. She says SNAP gives her about $250 a month, or it did. And she said, and I quote here, "I can only imagine what things will look like this next month with so many not having food." So I want you to imagine that. Sitting at your kitchen table trying to figure out which bill can wait, which meal you can skip. And your president's answer is, you know, the Democrats. The Democrats are the minority party. They're not in control of anything in Washington. Not the White House, not the Senate, not the Congress, not the judiciary, not the justices, none of it. None of it. It is Republicans. So this whole idea that it's a Democrat's fault is ridiculous. The Democrats who are fighting for affordable health care, for as many people in America to have health care and make it affordable. Felicia Lessing up in Connecticut, 3 kids. One is type 1 diabetes and celiac disease. That means everything that she buys has to be gluten-free, specific, expensive. She said she is terrified that her kids are going to lose access to the only food that keeps them healthy. She said, and I quote here, "It is painful to consider that our government is treating citizens this way," end quote. And she's right. Painful doesn't even begin to cover it because this isn't just about hunger. This is about cruelty. And they're trying to pretend that there's policy and there's some legitimate reason why they're holding out or not giving money. They have funds they have emergency funds that they can dole out these benefits to deserving people. I'm going to take you to Oklahoma now, where a mother of 4 named Jenna, she works a full-time job on a tree farm. 2 of her kids have special needs. She said when she heard SNAP could be halted, she started stockpiling cheap frozen meals, planning how to stretch every dollar, she said. And then she said, quote, "It's going to affect the mood of the household because I'm going to have hungry kids who are used to their healthy snacks." She's working. She's doing everything right. But in MAGA's America, that still isn't enough to deserve dignity. And I guess a somewhat full stomach. And then in New York, a 67-year-old woman named Martina Santos said that her $290 benefit is what lets her manage diabetes and high blood pressure. She said if that disappears, then she'll have to choose between paying her electricity bill or buying food that keeps her alive. Now, I want you to think about that. She's 67 years old. At 67 years old, a lifetime of work, being forced to choose between light and life. A light bill and a life bill. This is the cruelty that has become normal. That's why it's so important when we put those videos out and we show the videos, and it should be covered as much, of people who are being treated cruelty, whether they're citizens or not. The cruelty has become the point. And are we becoming inured to it? Are we becoming used to it? Is that what the point is? This has become normal. This is the sound of a government telling its people, we don't care if you eat. We don't really give a shit if you eat or not. America and the folks who pretend, America first, American exceptionalism, all of that bullshit. That rhetoric. We are exceptional in many ways. And there was a point in time where there was American exceptionalism. I mean, I look back at, the 2009 to 2016, man, that was, boy, we were definitely exceptional. The economy, people respected us. We had a president who acted like a president, dignified, no scandals, smart as hell, good looking, beautiful wife, a more than accomplished wife. Wife was more accomplished than him. Now that was the family that every American should be aspiring to be like. That was aspirational. That was American exceptionalism. America loves to call itself exceptional, but exceptional doesn't look like empty grocery shelves and full prisons. American exceptionalism doesn't look like billionaires getting tax breaks while children go hungry. I'm going to make you go, you guys, I'm going to make you so rich. Oh my gosh, you're going to love me. I'm going to make you so rich. Speaking to his very wealthy donors and friends. But children are going hungry now and they're getting richer. They have tax cuts, but you can't even have Medicaid or Medicare premium cuts or healthcare premium cuts or just affordable healthcare or continue to get the benefits from the Affordable Health Care Act. And by the way, again, this is a lot to do with Barack Obama. They're trying to kill, that's what folks aren't really telling you. They're trying to kill the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare because Obama, because MAGA, because Republicans, because racist, because money. It doesn't look like a president who spends his days picking fights with Canada and Brazil over television ads and tariffs, while 42 million Americans are wondering, what's for dinner? What am I going to eat? It looks like, this is not Marie, but another, it looks like Antoinette, who is a 51-year-old refugee from Congo, now living near Atlanta, who said she was finally getting her life back together, working in a warehouse, paying for rent, using SNAP to buy groceries. And now she's afraid that she's going to lose all of it. She says, and I quote here, "How am I going to manage?" End quote. Now that question hangs over every kitchen table in this country right now. How are people going to manage? And you want to know what Donald Trump said when asked about the shutdown? He said, sometimes you got to be tough. Easy for you to say, flying around on the money of the very people that you are making starve. Their tax money is footing your bill. You're living in public housing. So tough on who, Donald Trump? On the single mother in Maine working 2 jobs? On the veteran cutting his insulin doses in half so that he can afford food? On the kids who can't focus in class because their stomachs are empty? Tough on who? Tough on the poor? Has become the brand of the Republican Party. Cruelty. That's the proof of strength. How cruel you can be. Hunger is the political statement right now. Now, I have been in this business for a long, long, long time, long enough to know that hunger doesn't make headlines like a scandal does. It's not sexy. It's not salacious, right? It's not provocative. It doesn't trend on social media. It doesn't get the cable news chyrons flashing red. Breaking news! Happening now! This just in, developing. As we go on the air tonight, breaking. But it should, because this is what a slow motion moral collapse looks like. A government that would rather fight culture wars than feed its people. And let me be extremely clear with you right now, because this is not charity, okay? This is a social contract. When people pay taxes, it's not charity, it's a social contract. That's what the social safety net is that for, because people pay into it. When people pay taxes, when they work, when they serve, they are promised that in hard times that the country is not going to abandon them. That's the deal that we make. That's what we do. That's what democracy is. But Donald Trump and his MAGA machine, the misfit toys, ignoramuses, They've broken that deal. They replaced it with a bargain that says, if you're rich, then we're going to protect you. We're going to make you even more richer. If you're poor, well, shame on you. If you are poor, stop complaining. Pull yourselves up from your bootstraps. Now, as a matter of fact, one Republican representative in Louisiana, let's put this up. Clay, what's his name? Clay Jones or something like that. Clay Evans, I forget what his name is, but put it up for me. Says that MAGA congressional tells SNAP recipients to stop smoking crack in a bonkers post. Scroll down, Andy, please. That's what he says. His name is Clay Higgins, 64. Stop smoking. Oh my gosh. So when I tell you the cruelty is the point, and then I show you the receipts, don't say that I have Trump derangement syndrome or there is that I am being hyperbolic or just making things up in order to make MAGA or Donald Trump or Republicans look bad. That's what they're saying. And making my home state of, I'm sure, making Louisiana really proud, sir. That's sarcasm. I'm embarrassed that you're even from Louisiana. I grew up in a working class family in Louisiana. And look, my mother could stretch a dollar farther than anyone that I've ever met. Look, you get some ground beef or some ground whatever, and you put some breadcrumbs in it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can stretch it. Rice stretches everything. You want some extra gravy or whatever, throw some chicken stock or chicken broth in there. Stretch it. You make homemade bread. Some Jiffy cornbread mix goes a long way to fill that stomach. Rice, beans, cornbread. That was dinner. And it wasn't pity food. It was pride food. It was soul food. And I grew up in a working class family, but I would never have known. I thought we were rich, right? Because our parents never told us, and we never thought. I'm not even going to say that I grew up poor because I didn't. But it was a working class family. And so we survived. My mom survived as a single mom for a long time when I was a kid. When my mom got a divorce before I was born, and then my dad died. So she was a single mom twice. I think about her when I see these headlines because she raised me to believe that feeding your neighbor was a duty. Wow, I never didn't think that. It was a duty and it wasn't a debate. I love you, Mom. My mom, who was a single mother, would buy Christmas toys and birthday presents for neighbors, people we hardly knew when they didn't have it. She would buy my family's Christmas toys, pay their bills, and she never asked for a dime. She never brought it up in their faces, even in later years when they would disrespect her. She never said a word. And that's why my mom has never wanted for anything. Everything she's wanted has come to her because she always looked out for other people. And she instilled that in me. And I remember one year, and if my cousin's watching, he watches all the time, Kevin, they could not afford, two-parent household could not afford Christmas. My mom, not only did she buy all of their stuff and help them put it under the tree, we even gave our own presents as children and said, give this to some, give this to whatever. And that's what we should be doing as Americans. We should have that spirit now. But what I see now is a nation where people argue about whether feeding children makes them dependent. Where they don't realize people go through hard times. It doesn't matter if there's a mom or a dad in the house or a nuclear family or any of that. I see now where politicians smile right into the camera and they're like cutting the very programs that keep those children alive. People would show up at my door when I was a kid, hungry, even relatives, people that we knew. And my mom and my grandmother would feed them. My mom took care of my grandmother and paid my grandmother never had to work a day in her life. And my grandfather died when my mom was 16 or 17. And my mom had a baby girl at 17. And my mom still worked and paid the bills. My grandmother never had to work a day in her life, ever, because of my mother. So let me tell you about a single mom in Maine. Her name is Casey McBlaze. And she said, we'll have to prioritize which bills we can pay and which we will wait, which can wait. My children won't go hungry. She said it with defiance, with faith, but no parent should have to make that calculation. Not one parent. These stories, this is America's story from the beginning of time. These are America's stories. And what we have forgotten our humanity, America. We used to come together. And there were times when we wouldn't do things like this. These are not isolated stories. They're everywhere. Food banks from New York to New Orleans are overwhelmed. States are trying to step in because the federal government has stopped showing up. Volunteers are rationing boxes. Churches are begging for donations, and still the lines keep getting longer. What are we doing? All because someone wants rich people to get tax cuts, and they don't want you to be able to. Every single American should have affordable health care. What is the big deal about that? Why can't we do that? What is wrong with you, Republicans? Why don't you want health care? Why are you trying to cut it because you can't stand Barack Obama, because his name is on it, because he's a black man? Like, what is wrong with you? So this is a moment where we're supposed to roll the video of those long lines, right, of people waiting for food. We can do that, but we don't even have to show it, because I showed you earlier. That's the America that we're living in right now. The very rich and wealthy country where people are starving because of politics. And honestly, right now, because of the Republicans. Meanwhile, the man who's responsible is picking fights on social media, bragging about tariffs that will make food even more expensive. That's the galling part of it. The tariffs that he's so proud of, that he keeps touting, it's going to make it more expensive. I want you to go, if you haven't, go and click on our farmers who are now just berating and belittling, and they're just outdone by Donald Trump and all the lies that he's telling. Go check that out, and you'll know what I mean. You'll see why it makes food more expensive. Tariffs that punish the same working class families who voted for him, thinking that he cared about them. He doesn't care. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about you. You dumb fucking MAGA idiots. He doesn't give a fuck about you at all. Never did, never will. Doesn't now, and never, ever will. If you have been paying attention, you already know that. If you were a real Christian, then you would know that. He didn't care during the pandemic when food bank lines stretched for miles. Remember those? He didn't care when people were dying in overcrowded hospitals. He didn't care when SNAP cuts were proposed the first time or the second time or the third time. He didn't care because caring requires what? A conscience. And he doesn't have a conscience. So if he's there now, you voted for him. If you voted for him, then you fucked around and you found out. But a lot of people didn't. And now they're suffering the consequences. But the real question is, do we care? Do we still see these people as part of us? To see the hunger? They're all of us. All of us are hurting and are in need of something in some way. So have we learned that, or have we learned to look away from this? Because that's what the machine wants, apathy. They want you numb. They want you scrolling, arguing. They want you distracted. In the meantime, the people in the ivory towers, the rich folks, they're like, ha, look at those idiots down there fighting amongst themselves. And they're, one more steak, please. Oh, one more expensive $1,000 bottle of wine at the table. Who's got the check? Oh, let me get the check. No, I'll get the check. Oh, what check? Oh, we have a staff of cooks and people. You think I'm lying? I know some of those people who will not be able to spend their money in 15 lifetimes. They have their own planes. They have their own boats. They're not but yachts. They've got mansions. Oh, and we're going to Palm Beach. And after Palm Beach, we're going to Aspen. Let's spend some time skiing in Aspen. We're going to go to our house in Palm Beach. And then we're going to go to our house in the south of France and whatever. You want to come over? And well, we'll send the plane for you. Those are the people. That's Trump's Ace Boon Coon buddies right there. All of those people. In the meantime, you're arguing, distracted. You N-word, you're this, you're that, you stupid lib, you stupid whatever. And in the meantime, I love this Trump's tax cuts. This is great. You know, my capital gains went down, all that shit. I hear it every day almost. Because if you stop long enough to feel something, then you might start demanding something. That's why they want us fighting. So this isn't about left versus right. This is about right versus wrong, a country that can afford endless wars, endless tax cuts, endless corporate bailouts. Certainly it can afford to feed its people. It's a choice. It's always been a choice. So I've gone a little long, but I had to tell you this. But this morning, I'm asking you to make a different choice. I'm not asking you to remember that the people you just saw in that video from the ABC report, those people are not strangers. The people that I told you about, that I quoted, they're our neighbors. They're the backbone of this country. They're the ones who stock the shelves, they drive the trucks, they clean the offices, they care for our kids. And while they are struggling to eat, Donald Trump is on stage somewhere bagging about, the beautiful word tariffs and the big, beautiful ballroom. He called it, tariff his favorite word. I want to ask him if hunger is beautiful too. Because right now, this is the reality. 42 million Americans wondering where their next meal is coming from. 42 million souls held hostage by political cruelty. And the moral test of a nation is how it treats those who have the least. Right now, America is failing that test. But it doesn't have to. Because we can still choose compassion over cruelty. We can still choose courage over cowardice. We can be in community with each other instead of fighting, instead of having chaos. We can still feed each other. Because when a government forgets its people, the people have to remember each other. And that's where our power lies. That's where the hope is. So today, as you go about your day, I want you to hold these names in your mind. Okay? I told you about Tiffany. I told you about Felicia. I told you about Martina, Jenna, and Antoinette, and Casey. And all the people like them across this country. Think about what it says that we have billionaires arguing over yachts while seniors are rationing peanut butter. Think about what it says that the party calling itself pro-life is perfectly fine letting people go hungry. That is not what patriotism is. It's back to my rotting apple comparison. That's rot. So no, Mr. Trump, hunger is not toughness. It's not freedom. It's not America first. It's America last, morally, spiritually, and humanely. We can do better than this. We have to. Because the day we stop feeding people is the day that we stop being a nation worth saving. And that day is not today. We're still a nation worth saving. A word from our sponsors. Support comes from Ollie. You all know how much I love my dogs. Boomer, Barkley, and little Gus Gus. They're family. And like family, I want the best for them. That's why I use Ollie dog food. Their food is fresh, protein packed, made with real human grade ingredients, no weird fillers, just meals that look and smell like something that I could eat. I could eat it, but I don't. The boys love it, especially the beef recipe. Even Gus Gus, who is picky as hell, he cleans his bowl every single time. And you can tell the difference. Shinier coats, more energy, and yes, fewer vet visits. So go to ollie.com/lemon and make sure you have to take their quick quiz. They're going to create a meal plan tailored to your dog's needs just for you and your dogs. So use the code LEMON for 60% off of your welcome kit. Plus, it is backed by 100% happiness guarantee. And if you're not completely satisfied, you can get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/lemon. Use the code LEMON for 60% off of fresh, healthy food your dog will love. Support for the show comes from MSI United States. Here's something that really matters. In sub-Saharan Africa, 4 million teenage girls drop out of school every single year because they get pregnant. Not because they want to, but because they don't have access to birth control. Some risk their lives trying to end those pregnancies. Too many die. But MSI Reproductive Choices is changing that. They travel to the hardest to reach places to give girls contraception, giving them control over their own futures. For just $26, you can give a girl contraception for 4 years. 4 years to finish school. 4 years to dream bigger. I want you to text LEMON to 511-511 or go to msiunitedstates.org. That's M for modern, S for safe, I for informed, msiunitedstates.org. Please give. How many young women will you help? Text LEMON to 511-511 today. Text fees may apply. Thank you to our sponsors. Okay, so look, sorry, I went on a little long with that. I didn't expect to get so emotional. I hope that you forgive me because I'm just being honest. I wear my emotion on my sleeves. You know everything about me. I even told you about very intimate details about my doctor's visit. And I believe that that's what we are able to do. That's the beauty of this space, is to be able to share it with each other like that. And this is a community where we're in community with each other and we help each other. And sometimes we have our private streams. It turns into private personal therapy sessions. Okay. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to think about something that you said, Wendy 7404. I'll think about that. We'll figure out something. We should star and save the comment from Wendy 7404, guys. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. So you've heard some of the personal stories that I told you about. Now I want you to hear from people's personal stories. This is Americans reacting to losing their SNAP benefits. Here it is.
So I just finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month.
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depth that this is, the damage that this is going to do. But the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, who are going to go without meals so their children don't have to. I know that I will absolutely be one of those mothers.
But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're going to do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money,
I'm so tired of seeing people say like, oh, well, maybe if you had a job, you could get your groceries, or, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have to depend on stamps. I work full time. Thank you. And I do rely on stamps because guess what? It's not enough money in this economy for me to be able to pay bills and get stuff that we need and provide for my 2 kids. So yes, I depend on stamps. And I have a full-time job. So please know that people out here depend on stamps is not because we out here just mooching off the government. It's because we literally need that to provide for our family.
I work hard every single day. I get up every single day and clean houses, and I still rely on food stamps to feed my 6 children because the prices are so high. It's unrealistic to think about not having food stamps. Next month, I'm so terrified because 6 babies are always eating. Plus myself, I eat about 1 meal a day, but still.
So, what do we do? There are politicians who do care. And you may not agree with them politically, your ideology or whatever, but there are politicians with hearts out there, and everything is just not about, a political standoff or brinksmanship or gamesmanship or any of that stuff. Like Senator Bernie Sanders.
First, they threw 15 million people off the health care they have. Second, they are doubling premiums for 20 million people on the Affordable Care Act at a time when we already pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. But now they have gone to a new low. They are refusing to spend money that Congress appropriated for the SNAP program to feed hungry Americans in the event of a shutdown. The money is there, appropriated. They refuse to spend it. They are trying to make a political point by allowing children in America to go hungry. That is disgusting. Let's organize. Let's fight back. Let us not allow them to get away with this.
I mean, I don't feel that Bernie Sanders is wrong in that statement. I've looked at it all different ways. Like, how are the Democrats at fault? How are whatever? There are things that you could say about the Democrats that perhaps they should have done some things better in the past. If they had been better about politics, then maybe the Republicans wouldn't be in charge, or there'd be a better balance in our country, all of that. But in the moment that we're in right now, let's not blame the people who are actually fighting on the right side, who are on the right side of history. Because I truly believe that every American in a country that is as big and as prosperous and as wealthy as America, that every single person can have health care that is affordable. Every single person, every single person. Now, the folks who own the big drug companies and healthcare companies and all of that, who make all the money, and the politicians and the investors and all, they may not like that. But you have to make them understand if they don't like it, then you're not investing in their products or you're not voting for them. That's what you have to do. Because I went on a little bit long and got emotional, I just need to get back on track. I need to get one more word in from our sponsors, and then we can talk freely. Here we go. This show is sponsored by Henson Shaving. So let's talk shaving, shall we? I used to think irritation was just part of the deal, right? Oh my gosh, you have to do the styptic pen and the antiseptic and all of that. Razor burn, bumps, Then I switched to Henson Shaving. This thing is built like a Mars rover, okay? Literally, they make the razors in the same aerospace machine shop in Canada that built parts for one of those Mars rovers. So the blade only sticks out 0.0013 inches past the razor. That's thinner than a human hair. So it doesn't flex or tug. Just a smooth, skin-friendly shave every time. No subscriptions, no plastic waste, no gimmicks, just precision. Now, once you own a Henson, replacement blades cost less than $5 a year. Visit hensonshaving.com/lemon and use the code LEMON to get a free pack of 100 blades with your razor. That's 2 years of shaving free. Again, HENSON shaving.com/lemon, code LEMON. Look, I used to get ingrown hairs or whatever, not with this Henson shaver. I'm just telling you. All right. This show, The Don Lemon Show, is powered by my partners at Radioactive Media, the audio marketing pros who just landed on Inc. magazine's list of fastest growing private companies. Now, we all know the economy is shaky right now, but your business doesn't have to be. Radioactive helps brands weather any storm by using the power to podcast and radio advertising, the power of podcast and radio advertising. Audio reaches more people than social media and digital combined, and it connects deeper. These folks know exactly how to launch, optimize, and scale campaigns that work. Now, if you're a business owner, marketer, or startup, talk to them about sponsoring my show or starting your own audio campaign. Okay, so go to radioactivemedia.com or text podcast to 511-511. That's radioactivemedia.com, or you can text podcast to 511-511 and discover how to make your message sound better. Message and data rates may apply. Thank you to our sponsors. Yes, thank you to our sponsors. And I got to tell you, look, I don't get razor bumps anymore at Henson. I don't know. They figured something out. I'm just telling you. I'm going above and beyond, but I'm just telling you, it's amazing. Okay, so we showed you what some politicians, we showed you what we played for you what Mallory McMorrow said about how she feels about the shutdown. We played for you Bernie Sanders. Now, those are the folks on the Democratic side. Now, let's hear from the folks on the Republican side, because this is J.D. Vance, question about Americans losing SNAP benefits. Now, I want you to watch the difference here. Here it is.
Mr. Vice President, on the issue of the shutdown, there is the concern about 42 million people losing their SNAP benefits. Of course. Over this weekend. The administration moved a lot of money around to pay troops, to pay federal law enforcement, and is telling Congress you can't move money around to pay at least some of those benefits. Why not? And would there be some push perhaps in the next 48 hours to try to do that so Americans don't go hungry?
Well, here's the problem. If you go back to previous government shutdowns, what has happened is that sometimes the president has tried to make the shutdown as painful as possible on the American people. I give the president of the United States great credit and the entire team for trying to make this as painless as possible. The Democrats are acting irresponsibly. He doesn't want the American people to suffer because of it. But look, right now, this government, this administration, we're like guys running around, with a leak in a damn wall, trying to plug it with bubble gum. And we plug one spot with bubble gum, and we plug another spot with bubble gum, and we plug another spot with bubble gum. Why don't the Democrats just stop this entire charade and reopen the government so that we don't have to try to make this thing work on a shoestring budget, which is what we're trying to do. The unfortunate reality, and we're starting to see this with our aviation industry, we're going to find out the hard way with SNAP benefits. The American people are already suffering, and the suffering is going to get a lot worse. Not because the President of the United States has failed to make the shutdown painless. He's tried to do everything that he can to make it as unpainless as possible. The reason that pain is coming and the reason it's building is because we're not passing the clean bill to reopen the government. It's a very easy thing to do.
So you're not President. Thank you.
Woo! Man, oh man. Where would I start if I was there? Well, let me. I'll start with here. The Democrats can't. He said the Democrats should reopen the government. Democrats can't because Democrats are not in charge of the government. The Republicans are in charge of the government. The Republicans have the majority. The Republicans have the decision-making power. And if they had enough of the Republican votes, they would vote. It would be back open. But they don't even have enough of their own Republican votes. So what are they talking about? They just don't have the votes. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
You all have found ways to pay the members of the military, which, people understand, and WIC, which people also understand. But why are you drawing the line now on 40 million Americans who literally will not be able to eat without government assistance? Why not help them in the short term? And why are they
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, I reject the premise of the question. I'm not drawing the line. The Democrats are drawing the line. If we had a contingency fund that we could use, that would be done. The White House has demonstrated over and over, the executive branch, all the cabinet secretaries are doing everything they can to mitigate and reduce the.
They do have a contingency fund, but I don't know why he's saying that, but keep going.
But that ability is not available for SNAP because the contingency fund had to be prior authorized by Congress.
Well, they say
in the
that that's
CR,
not what the law shows.
No,
And
well, that's ridiculous.
Certainly the administration has shown that they are very
this has
happy
already
to
been
move money
adjudicated.
around without Congress saying yes.
No, Dennis, they're just simply not true. It's already been adjudicated. When they tried to do that in the first Trump administration, the GAO, for example, determined it was illegal. And the Democrats, when they voted against the Clean CR, they voted down that possibility. So it is not legally available to do that. Believe me, the White House has already demonstrated over and over they would use it if it was available. It's not. The Democrats have put the American people in this crisis, and they are the ones that have the power to end it. They could do it today if they feel enough pressure to do so.
Okay. These people lied through their fucking teeth, man. I mean, just lied. And oh my gosh, it annoys me. I'm so glad that I'm here and I could say that without being worried, without worrying about what the consequences were, or just being on the spot like that when you're like, okay, so here is the facts. These are the facts on this. This is from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, okay? Nonpartisan. The Trump administration recently claimed that SNAP benefits are not available for November 2025 because SNAP's contingency funds are not legally available to cover regular benefits. This stands in opposition to the law and prior practice, including the Trump administration itself. Also, the administration could use its legal transfer authority, the same authority it already used to provide additional funds to WIC, to supplement the contingency reserves, which alone are not enough to fund families' full benefits for November. The administration must use all available options to fund November benefits for the 1 in 8 people in the United States who need SNAP to afford their grocery bills. They are lying. This is the plain language of the law. Prior Trump administration practice, including as recently as a few weeks ago in the Agriculture Department, the USDA, lapsed a funding plan, which the agency has since removed from its website. So things that prove that they are lying and where they have done it for the people they want to do it for, they remove it from the website. Just like they fire the people who write up the statisticians and the people who write up the actual job numbers and such. If it is not beneficial to MAGA, to Donald Trump, to this administration, they simply remove it. They lie about it and they remove any reference to the law or past practice or past precedent where they've done it before, they remove it so that people can't even see it. It's erased. It's gone. That's the danger of, I mean, is that not outrageous? That's why I keep saying that is not the Democrats. It's the Republicans. They are lying. Lying. If you're in here, if you're a MAGA troll in here, please let me know how you feel about that. He's busted in a lie right there. They just get rid of the things that prove them wrong. They just remove that. No, we need to remove that. And then they want to tell you that they're happy because in their minds, they think this is, back to all the welfare queens. Remember that from the first George Bush? The whole welfare queens ad, and that it was black people. Was it welfare queens or Willie Horton? I forget what it was, right? Or both. I love the folks who are on social media, like some of the TikTokers are just streamers or influencers. Here's one debunking the lie that non-white, non-citizens get SNAP. Here it is.
This viral chart about who uses SNAP is a complete lie. The right is using this misleading visual to push the narrative that the majority of the 42 million food stamp recipients are non-white and non-citizens, which would somehow justify letting people go hungry, but it's not true. 35% of SNAP benefits go to white people, making up the largest share, and nearly 90% of SNAP recipients are US-born citizens. The rest are refugees, naturalized citizens, and permanent lawful residents. And guess what else? 70% work full-time. That means SNAP is subsidizing the companies that won't pay their workers a living wage. Even the creators of the chart, a blog called The Personal Finance Wizards, which sounds super trustworthy, admitted that the graph highlights a selection of ethnicities they felt would be most relevant and engaging for their audience. So it's basically propaganda meant to turn people against their neighbors instead of those actually responsible, the billionaires and politicians who rig our system to favor the rich. Average taxpayer spends roughly $32 a month on SNAP benefits, but about $56 a month on corporate subsidies. That's almost double. And 86% of all SNAP benefits go to households with a child, elderly person, or someone with disabilities. I'd rather my money go towards food for my neighbors, which is better for the economy, by the way, than prop up corporations that refuse to pay fair wages or lower prices.
So there you go. That's the truth. And I don't know if you'll see that fact checked in real time. I have no idea. Perhaps the mainstream media is doing. I'm not blaming him. I don't know. I don't watch enough of it to tell you, but that person certainly has it. I want you to make sure that you know that you do have power and you can be helpful to people. There's one. Look, you may think this is trivial. I think this is really great because you can start somewhere. This is a TikToker showing how you can make bread cheaper, teaching SNAP recipients how to make bread, and also neighbors and friends and family and loved ones and coworkers and all that, how to help each other. This is a must watch. I want to get this person on the show. Go.
This is not my normal video. SNAP benefits are being cut off, so I'm going to show you how to make some necessities. Today we are making sandwich bread. Lock in. It's very, very easy. 2 cups of warm water, 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, and a 1/2 cup of sugar. Cover it for about 10 to 15 minutes, let it bloom. To a bowl, you're gonna get 6 cups of bread flour. Now listen, if you don't have a stand mixer, regular bowl. 1 teaspoon of salt, and you need a 1/4 cup of oil. This could also be butter if you don't have oil. Do you guys see that froth? That's what it's supposed to look like. Add this in. I'm gonna use my paddle attachment to bring it all together and then knead it for 10 minutes. If you do not have a stand mixer, simply use a wooden utensil, bring it together, and then knead it with your hands for 10 minutes. To a greased bowl, put this in, spray the top, cover it, let it rest in your oven with the light on, but the oven off for like 1.5 to 2 hours. Dough has clearly risen, punch it. Split it in 2. Cover these again for about an hour. Woo! I might have let it overproof a little bit because I was at pickleball, but this should still be fine. Brush it with some egg wash. Bake these at 350 for 30 to 35 minutes. Coming from a kid who grew up on food stamps and as an adult who has used food stamps before with no shame and would use them again today, babe, this is where it starts. This is where you can start creating community. Even if you don't need food stamps, you can make this bread for somebody in your apartment building. Somebody at the gym you go to, you can make it and give it to them. If you do need it because you have kids and kids love bread, girl, they love some bread, they love some toast, they love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, then this recipe is for you, okay? If you need help, DM me. If it's not working out, DM me and I will do my best to get to all of them and walk you through step by step on what's not working. This is where community starts. Everybody wants to be a part of the community until they have to inconvenience themselves. That is the price. So here we go. Bread. I love y'all. Also, if you voted for that orange dusty bitch, I hate you. I hate you, and I wish you the worst. You and your entire family. Thank you.
I love him. When he's always at pickleball, I love it. Okay, so that is someone who is helping. Now, thank you very much. What is this? Do you guys remember his name? We have, do we have that? Peter, I don't know if we have his name. But anyway, we're going to try to find him because we think he's fantastic. We really do think he's fantastic. Okay, so listen, guys, if you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, all you need to do is go to donlemon.com, okay? donlemon.com and click on anything. Everything is on there, including how to subscribe, become a member, to get to our YouTube page, whatever, it's our main show, anything, merch. All you do is click right on there. It's right there on the Don Lemon Show. As a matter of fact, we have some new merch stuff that I can't wait to get some of it. We have a long sleeve white shirt. the Don Lemon Show shirt. We have a new black hat. There's a sweatshirt that finally we can use because it's chilly, right? Well, you could use it. It's very lightweight. So check that out. Also, we have some merch picks, right? So if you buy, oh, wait a minute. This is one of our legends.
This is Camille.
Hi, Camille. Looking good with her her Lemon Live t-shirt. That's one of my favorite. I like that color and also in light blue. Really cool. I might wear the light blue one tomorrow. Today's Friday or Monday, whenever. I'll wear it next. What else do we have? Who else? Hi, Camille. Looking gorgeous. Thank you.
So we have one more, and it's a video of Sarah Carter's son.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Thank you, Elimination. Turn the TV off.
Where's my sweatshirt? Look at him. Oh, my gosh. What's his name again?
There's no name, but it's
No
Sarah
name.
Carter's 7-year-old son.
Oh my God, he is adorable, Sarah. Thank you, and thank you for your support. We have to, Sarah. We got to put him on the show. You got to become a legend, and so we need him on the show. We need him to be a Don Lemon Show junior correspondent. Can we make him a Don Lemon Show junior correspondent? Right? Don't you think? He's such a cutie pie. Okay, thank you. So you guys asked me about this shirt. Okay, so I have to tell you the truth, and it's really cool. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? I don't know if there's anything in the back. I can't remember. I don't think so. No. And so anyway, it's see-through. So I have this black thing that I wear. It's a t-shirt that you can buy for guys that it's kind of like a barely there. You don't know because it's cut really low and you wear it as a t-shirt under, but anyway, it's black. Otherwise, I was here and I was like, wait a minute, you can see a lot of stuff that you may not be appropriate for morning or news show or whatever. So I just put this on. But anyway, it's see-through. It's great for anytime, right? You can wear it in the summer, the beach, bathing suit, out, whatever it is. Anyway, so my friend gave it to me. She said she had her company make it. It's not honestly the cheapest thing. I have to tell you, she has a brand. It's not luxury, but it's not a cheap brand. Like they wear her clothes on, what is it? The White Lotus. Like her dresses have been featured in the White Lotus and her bathing suits and all that. And so anyway, she's a friend. She took us to dinner last night. She goes, I have a treat for you. We're making this stuff, these lemon and fruit shirts and stuff. And it's if you want to know, I'm telling you, it's not cheap. It is My Beachy Side. My Beachy Side. And it's my friend Gamze. My Beachy, ACHY side. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, Lord, Gamze's stuff. It's not crazy. It's not like, Louis Vuitton crazy. But anyway, that's where this came from. My Beachy Side, BEACHYSIDE. So thank you for the shirt. It's not as expensive as I thought, but it's certainly not cheap. Anyways, so that's where the shirt's from. Is a gift. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So if you want to know, also, if you want to come talk to us and you want to share your story, if you want to come and have therapy to vent or just hear and relax, check us out on November 18th at City Winery here in New York City. It's going to be me, Jennifer Welch, and Anthony Scaramucci, and a host of, other special guests and friends. November 18th, City Winery in New York City. And then D.L. Hughley and I are going to be at City Winery in Philadelphia in December on the 8th. And then we're going to be at City Winery in Chicago on the 10th. Philadelphia on the 8th, Chicago on the 10th of December, D.L. Hughley and I. And this November 18th, just in a couple weeks, it's going to be me, it's going to be Jennifer Welch, and it's going to be Anthony Scaramucci and Jay Jordan. And I can't tell you. I want to tell you, but I can't. Okay. Get your tickets. All right, guys. So be informed without being inundated until I see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Don Lemon Show, the Don Lemon channel. Have a good day. Look out for your neighbors. And let us know what you're doing for Halloween. We want to know. We're trying to figure out our Halloween special tonight, if we're going to do it. And what am I going with as? You guys want to guess? I think I'm going to do a Get Ready With Me because we need to vent a little bit, okay? Considering all the negative and bad things that are going on. So until I see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time for the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel, be informed without being inundated and turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.